Hello everyone, this is Void Spirit. I'm here to bring you guys amazing fanfiction that you will surely enjoy. But before we start, please subscribe and like the video for more amazing content. CH24. Foreign and Ilwa. Aiko Hatayama. An extremely responsible teacher who does everything for her students. Aiko had only been a teacher for a short time, but she was extremely competent. One day she and her students were transported to another world and were forced to take part in a war. They began to train, and one of them died. This was a terrible moment for Aiko. She who cared for her students above all could not easily accept the death of one of her students, and yet her brother went looking for him alone and reported him missing. 3 months had passed and the student had not been found. There was no way anyone could survive that long without food, so everyone thought that the two brothers had died. Only a group of students thought that Rimuru was alive and were searching for him in the Orcus dungeon. Aiko was helping the kingdom with the food situation. She had a great class that improved the crops. She traveled to various cities and helped the crops. Currently she was in a city known as Lake City. She had a guard of knights along with her for protection. The students who were not in the dungeon were here as well. The reason they were here was for different protection. All the men in Aiko's guard were very handsome and fit. This was probably a plan of the church to keep Aiko. One of the students, Sonobe Yuka, realized this and told the others. And so they put their hands together and spoke, "Let's protect Ai-chan from the hot guys." Aiko didn't know the real motive of her students, but she was happy to have them together. She was quite happy that her students would no longer be forced to fight and was slowly getting over the death and disappearance of her students. However, another of her students disappeared. Rimuru, Hajime and his group were having coffee in a nicely decorated restaurant with outdoor tables. They were currently in the city of Foreign. This city was known for its goods and also for containing the headquarters of the Adventurers Guild. The 5 of them were at a round table and some envious looks rained down on Hajime and Rimuru because of the beautiful girls. Some thought Rimuru was a girl and only looked enviously at Hajime. Everyone was eating a candy. Rimuru and Sakura were having juice and the others were having coffee. Sakura seemed very interested in sweets. That was understandable since as she had been a magical beast for 400 years she had never eaten candy and Rimuru was looking at her kindly. You saw Hajime looking at his plate as if wondering what it tasted like, so. Hajime. Yu held up her fork with a piece of candy and offered it to Hajime. He ate and enjoyed the candy. Hajime-san, me too. Just this once. Hajime ate from Shia's fork as well. This display of affection made Envy's gazes multiply several times over. Sakura looked at Rimuru and her cheeks flushed. She should be thinking whether to do this with Rimuru or not. If they weren't in public she would have done it without caveats, but she was a bit shy in public. However, in private she was totally backwards like in the shower incident, and she still had the reason that she and Rimuru were not boyfriend and girlfriend. Sakura-chan, that's kind of embarrassing in public, you know. Rimuru spoke, scratching the back of his neck in shame. Why, yes, I know. Can I come closer? Yes. She moved her chair closer and clung to his arm. She also didn't forget to place her breasts against his arm, causing Rimuru to be embarrassed and the envious looks to increase. At that moment, a disgusting man approached them. This man was short, with sweaty noble clothes and badly cut hair. He had a greasy body and face and had a pig nose. This man was casting disgusting glances at the girls, especially Shia. The pig man came to the side of the table and spoke in an arrogant tone and posture. Hey brats. I'll give you 1,000,000 ruta and you give me the girls. I will make them my concubines. This man must have been some kind of idiot. In the kingdom you couldn't buy someone. That was totally illegal with humans. There was no way for the dirty man to know that the girls were not human, so he was basically doing a crime in public. The man tried to touch Shia, but was met with Hajime's murderous intent. The pig fell to the ground startled. The envious looks around also stopped. Disgusting. Sakura spoke calmly. She was referring to both the man's appearance and attitude. Guys, let's move. Everyone stood up. Just as they were about to leave, a large black-haired man appeared in front of them. Lagged. Kill that arrogant brat. Kill him slowly. The pig shouted his orders as soon as he saw the man. I'll leave him half dead so there are no consequences, then go for the reward. Got it. Hajime was about to attack the man, but Shia stopped him. Hajime-san, we'll take care of him. HMHM, it's us they want. You agreed with Shia and Sakura asked. Do you guys want me to help or can I just keep enjoying it? By enjoying, she meant the good food and also cuddling with Rimuru. They heard some people saying that this guy Legonid was famous and was of the third highest ranking of adventurers. The girls thought that if they defeated this famous person in public the looks of envy and kidnapping attempts would diminish. Shia then spoke up. No need, we are more than enough. Gahaha. Are these young ladies going to become my opponents? That's really funny. I'm going to. Quiet. KH. Before Langid could finish he felt a deep cut on his cheek. It was a windblade from Yu. Cold sweat dripped from his body and he wondered where the corner and the magic circle were. Shia and Yu approached and Langid spoke. Hey, Miss Beastman. Could you stand still? I don't want to hurt you. It's the contractor's request. He must have thought that a bunny girl couldn't do anything to him. Cash and Shia picked up Doryakan and easily shortened the distance between her and Langid. Yaa. KH. Langid was thrown into the wall while thinking. How does this bunny have so much strength? He broke an arm and was going to get up to run away from these two freaks, but he couldn't move due to Yu's gaze. Yu raised her hand, made a fake corner and cast her new flower of the wind magic. This magic used gravity to launch a cannonball of wind. Yu threw it and everyone thought, it can't be going that way, right? But it was. The attack hit landed in the groin and cries of ooh could be heard from the onlookers. Hajime moved over to the dirty man. Stay away. I am a baron, Baron Ming. If you looked closely, you would realize that he had pissed himself. Hajime approached and stepped on the pig man's face. Puya. The pig was crying and letting out snot, making him even more disgusting. Hey, piggy, don't show up in front of me anymore. If you do that I won't let you go again. He stomped once again much harder. Pya. The pig man collapsed. And at this moment guards arrived. They asked the group to answer questions and asked for their status cards. Hajime was about to make up some excuse, but Yu called out to him. Hajime, the letter. Yes, read that. That was the letter that the receptionist Katarine gave them in case they got into trouble with the guild. The soldier read the letter, and then his eyes widened. Please come with me. You need to speak to the director of the branch. He asked one of his colleagues to call the director and show him the letter. The group was confused as to how a receptionist could have such influence. Nice to meet you. I am Ilwa Chong, the branch director. Hajime, Rimuru, Sakura, Yu and Shia, right? A well-dressed blonde man introduced himself. Yes, that's right. Rimuru confirmed. Our names were on the letter? Hajime asked. Yes. Sensei said that you have great potential, but that you have a predisposition to create problems. We are troublesome people. Huh? She might be right in this respect. Sakura couldn't deny that they were problem people. Well then, are we cleared? Did that serve as identification? Yes, the sensei said that you have good character and I will leave that as your identification. By the way, why do you call her sensei? Shia asked and Ilwa explained. Katarine was the leader of the Adventurers Guild. Several people who are in charge of the guild today, including Ilwa, were trained by her in how to run the guild. Today she is retired in hunting talent as a receptionist. So she really was someone important. Hajime spoke when he heard the story. Well, before you go I have a request for you. No, thank you. Hajime spoke and started to get up. Hajime-kun, I think we better listen. Sakura spoke up to stop him. He was a little confused and asked. Why? If we don't listen to his request he probably won't approve of using the card instead of the status boards. Hearing Sakura's guess everyone turned to Ilwa. He looked a bit embarrassed to be read so easily. Well, exactly, but I'm not going to force them to accept it. I just want them to listen to me. I guess we'll listen to you then. Okay. The request is to rescue an adventurer named Will Cadetta. He is the son of Count Cadetta and is very stubborn. We had to force him to go with other adventurers on their adventures. He and the other adventurers were in the northern mountains and disappeared. That was 2 days ago. No one wants to accept this request because the group of adventurers that was with him was very famous for its strength and also because of the dangers of the northern range. So I want to offer it to you. Hey, are you sure? We're just a group of blue adventurers after all. Hajime tried to disguise it, but it didn't work. Blue adventurers who easily defeated a black adventurer. Still, we already have our goals and don't have time to find a lost boy. So how about, in exchange for you doing this, I bump you up to black rank? That's not something you do every day. We don't care about that. The others nodded. What if I cover for you in everything that has to do with the guild? I have a great deal of influence. Don't you think you're overreacting because a nobleman? Tisk. It's not because he's a nobleman. I was the one who delivered that request to him. I didn't accompany him like the other times because I wanted to show him that life is not easy, so it's not an exaggeration. Hajime thought for a while and confirmed some things with the others. Then he said, if you insist, I have conditions. The first is status board for these 3, and I want you to promise never to speak what is written on them. The second is that we will use all the connections you have, including outside the guild. What? That's too much. In that case I don't accept. Wait. Why are you asking me this? No big deal. It's just for when the church comes after us. One of Ilwa's subordinates was about to ask why they had a rock with the church, but Ilwa interrupted him. The church? All right, I accept your terms. All right. We'll go find it right now. As the group was leaving the building, the subordinate who was in the conversation earlier called out to him. Chief, are you sure about these conditions? Will's life is at stake, we have no choice. I'm curious. What kind of problem could someone have to not want to show the status boards? Didn't you know Todd-kun? It seems that the church has summoned some heroes with incredible statuses. They call themselves the Apostles of God. Are you saying that? A few months ago one of them fell into the abyss of the Orcus dungeon. He was said to be the weakest. If he wanted to survive, he might end up losing an arm or an eye. Are you sure? Not with that alone he wouldn't have, however. They say his brother went looking for him. His brother was said to be stronger than the hero, and his description was long blue hair and wore a fine sword. That boy. I don't know what they found out down there, but I am also very curious about them. Especially about the church part. I hope you know what you're doing. Don't worry, I do. Wow. Hajime-kun is very good at negotiations. That's why I always leave it to you. Rimuru spoke as they walked out of the guild. Then Rimuru looked back as if he heard something. What is it? Shia asked curiously. Look, I have an ability to amplify hearing, you know. Rimuru spoke and was about to continue, but Hajime interrupted him. Well, you're basically a superhuman who can achieve anything, so I won't be surprised by these things anymore. Rimuru realized that Hajime had come up with new ways to call him a cheater now. Who? Well, I did that and managed to hear their conversation. Huh. But I didn't hear anything. Shia looked disheartened to have her hearing ability that she was so proud of overcome. Shia, don't be discouraged by being outdone by someone who is clearly no longer human. Even you-san. It seems that even you thought Rimuru was a cheater. Rimuru saw that it would do no good to complain and continued. From what I've heard, they know our true identities. Did they say anything about us denouncing the church? No. Then it's okay. Yes, I think so too. They decided to trust Ilwa. The group was heading to the northern mountains. They had already been traveling for one day and were halfway there. They stopped to rest and eat. They were eating next to a wheat field when, look. Shia pointed at the plantation and out of it came an orange kitten. How cute, but how did a cat get here? Rimuru spoke up curious. I don't know. I'll give him some food. Sakura gave some treats to the kitten who seemed to enjoy them. At this moment Rimuru's magical perception and Hajime's presence detection beeped. There's someone coming. The two spoke and stood up. They didn't reach for their weapons as they thought it might be the cat's owner. I found you. A girl came out of the plantation and took the cat in her hands. She didn't even seem to have seen the group. Missy, how did you come so far? Shizuku-chan will be worried. The girl was lecturing the cat. The girl had black hair, white clothes, a cape of the same color and a thin sword. On top of that she was really beautiful. Chloe. Rimuru shouted in surprise. Ch25, Chloe and Rimuru. Warning. This chapter may contain explicit scenes. Chloe had said goodbye to Shizuku and Kaori. She had received a request from Shizuku that if she found an orange cat out there she would take care of it, but Chloe may have taken this request too seriously. She decided to look for the cat. She thought that since she had nothing to do while waiting for Rimuru, she could look for Missy. She searched the town and found nothing. She looked for traces of the cat and found something. She found out about a little girl who was a merchant's daughter. There were reports of people who saw her leaving town with an orange cat. Chloe asked where the little girl went, and was told foreign. Chloe went to foreign and found the girl. The girl told her that the cat ran away on the way to town and never showed up again. Chloe, who was taking this favor too seriously, searched all the way between the capital and the city of foreign. She finally found Missy. Somehow Missy ended up in a wheat field and Chloe found her on the side of the road. What had taken kitten, Chloe thought, and was lecturing Missy when Chloe. Someone called her name. Only then did Chloe realize that she was surrounded by people. She looked at the person who called her name, and when she saw, her heart leapt. Beautiful face, long blue hair and black clothes. It was her beloved Rim. NGH. Chloe didn't even get a chance to call his name as she received a passionate kiss. She was surprised at first, but continued the kiss. Hajime, Yu and Shia had surprised and confused expressions. To them, Rimuru was kissing a pretty girl he didn't even know. That could be considered a crime. Sakura had already imagined who was this person and was happy for the re-encounter. Chloe finally managed to pull her lips apart and said, "Rimuru-san. It's good to see you, Chloe." He hugged her and stroked her head. She seemed happy about it and hugged him tightly. The three were confused as the girl who was apparently being harassed knew Rimuru's name. "I'm glad you're okay." Me too." Chloe began to shed tears of joy at the unexpected reunion. "Hey, what's going on here?" Hajime broke the silence and asked what Shia and Yu also wanted to understand. Rimuru stopped hugging Chloe. "Guys, this here is my fiancée Chloe." He pulled Chloe around the waist as he spoke. Chloe remembered that there were more people here and was a little embarrassed, but she spoke. Nice to meet you. My name is Chloe Albert." She bowed. Fufu. What do you mean fiancé?" The three were even more confused and Sakura laughed at their reaction. Sakura approached them and spoke. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Chloe. Rimuru-san has told me very well about you. It will be great to have you with us. This is Hajime, Yu and Shia, and I'm Sakura. I want to let you know as soon as possible that I'm in love with Rimuru-san. I hope we can get along well." "You're going to say that now?" the others thought when they heard Sakura's words. Ehehe. Rimuru-san spoke well of me. That makes me a little embarrassed. Is that the part she paid attention to? Chloe was embarrassed and hugged Rimuru's arm. Yu was totally confused by Chloe's reaction and asked confusedly. Chloe didn't even pay attention to this because she was used to girls falling in love with Rimuru. In Rimuru's world, he was an idol to all the girls, and some boys, especially in Tempest, it was normal for someone to be in love with him. The hard part was that Rimuru liked them too. The only girls that stayed close to Rimuru besides Chloe were Shion and Shuna, but Rimuru never had anything romantic with them. At this moment, Hajime recovered from his confusion and approached. "Hey Rimuru, aren't you going to explain this to us?" Rimuru, who was mesmerized by Chloe's cuteness, finally regained his senses. Yeah, but it's going to take a while. So how about we go on our way while we talk?" Sigh, fine. Hajime pulled a four-wheeled vehicle out of the treasure chest. If they were going to talk, it would be better if they were all in the same car. They climbed into the car. Hajime, Yu and Shia were in the front and the others were in the back seat. Rimuru was in the middle and Chloe was lying cuddled around his waist as he stroked her head. Sakura was on the other side very close to Rimuru. She didn't want to spoil the reunion moment, so she wasn't hugging Rimuru as usual. "Very well, how shall I begin?" Yes, I died stabbed." Earlier Rimuru didn't want to tell them about him being the demon lord as he thought they might start to depend on him too much. Only now he realized that wouldn't happen and began to tell his story. After Rimuru finished telling the story, everyone could only remain silent. It was too much information to take in at once, but it was a little more acceptable since they were already in a world full of magic. Of course Rimuru didn't tell them anything about Shizu. "Wait. If you have so much power, can you take us home?" Hajime asked hopefully. "No, this universe is strange. It has different temporal space laws and with my magic I can't do that. If we want to go home we'll have to use magic from this universe." "Then why didn't you tell us about it before?" Hajime asked. "Well, if I told you when we were in the other world, you guys would probably try to have me committed to a mental institution. And I also didn't tell you after we came to this world because I didn't want you depending on me too much, but now I know I don't have to worry about that." "So Rimuru is a king. Yu spoke thoughtfully. You may say a king, but he is much more than that. Chloe responded to Yu's comment. What do you mean? Rimuru-san is worshipped and obeyed completely. No matter what Rimuru-san says, it will be right. All the girls idolize him too. After I announced the engagement, the envious looks on me were quite frightening. Rimuru-san, you said your country accepts any race? Shia asked excitedly. Yes. That's right. So. I wonder when we find a way out of this world. Could my family live there? She asked hopefully. Of course. We already have inhabitants of your race and they are very famous. Some are models or actors. Really? Shia was very excited about a country where the races could live in harmony. In Tortus the races hated each other, but the country that Rimuru described, humans, demi-human, monsters, dragons, vampires, demons and various others living in harmony. That was basically a dream for her. Do you really have vampires? Yu was delighted too and wanted to see others of her kind. Yes. We have a blood donation drive so that vampires can live with us. Awesome. Can we visit sometime? She asked Hajime. Yes. I'm curious to see it too. By the way, Rimuru, do we have to call you Majesty now? Please don't. Your Magnificence then? Yu asked. Stop it. Your Holiness? Shia asked. Stop it. Stop it. Rimuru couldn't stand people treating him so respectfully. The others seeing his reaction couldn't help but laugh. Looks like you guys get along well, Rimuru-san. Chloe, who before was hugging Rimuru, was now on his lap and made a comment. So Chloe is your bride? Is she going to become your queen or something? Yes, that's right. I want to make a big wedding, so it will take some time to prepare it. I told you I didn't need that. Chloe had her arms around his neck and spoke. But it's a big event. The most powerful demon lord is going to marry the greatest heroine for love. Everyone will want to see that. Rimuru confirmed. Well, if you say so, and I love you too. She said this and blew him a kiss. The two smiled happily and Chloe placed her head on Rimuru's chest. Shia. Yes? We have a lot to learn from her. Yu spoke, pointing at Chloe. What do you mean, Yu-san? She has great girl power. She's a monster. Eh? Shia looked at Chloe hugging Rimuru. She dressed well and she had a very cute personality, had a beautiful body, and Shia had to admit that this was the most beautiful girl she had ever seen. If this girl wasn't a bride, Shia would probably do everything she could to keep her away from Hajime. I get it, Yu-san. On a scale of 1 to 100, how powerful is she in girl power? It's over 8,000. Oh. It's a monster among monsters. While Shia and Yu were having this conversation, Sakura called Chloe. Chloe-san. Would you like to be my friend? Huh? Chloe and Rimuru didn't understand Sakura's question. It's just that I feel a familiar feeling coming from you. I can't explain it, I just feel it. It's like when I fell in love with Rimuru-san. Chloe heard Sakura's words and thought for a moment. Alright. From now on we'll be friends. Fufu. Thank you. The two looked happy and Chloe turned to Rimuru. Rimuru-san, do you like Sakura? What? Rimuru was surprised by the sudden question and Sakura turned red. You can be honest, I won't be mad. Remember what we talked about. Chloe had talked to Rimuru that she wouldn't mind having other wives. As long as I have that, I don't have to worry about losing you. Fufu. She pulled out a necklace with a beautiful ring. The girls were delighted with the beauty of the ring and couldn't stop staring at it. Yes, I know. Thank you. About Sakura-chan. I'm in love with her too. Sakura was surprised by the sudden confession and couldn't speak anything. She just widened her eyes. Then it is decided. Sakura will be his new bride. Ehehe. Rimuru-san has to give her a ring too. Right. Sakura-chan. Will you be my wife? It was a casual request, but it didn't matter to Sakura. She just wanted it to be done as soon as possible. And Rimuru knew that and didn't delay even a second longer. Sakura was already in tears of joy. Yes. Chloe got off Rimuru's lap for a moment and let the two kiss. Sakura looked radiant and after they kissed she stayed hugged in his arm. Rimuru made a ring just like Chloe's for her. The only difference was that instead of white it was pink. Thank you. It's beautiful. Shia and Yu agreed with Sakura's words and stood admiring the jewelry. Chloe returned to Rimuru's lap and Rimuru-san. She got off his lap and went to his side in shame. He was also embarrassed as he understood what happened. Chloe was on his lap and must have felt that part. Rimuru hadn't told her about her new body yet, so it was understandable her surprise. Since when? The others didn't understand what Chloe's question meant. Well, since I got a human body. Does that mean we can now? Well, yes. Chloe turned red as a tomato and buried her face in his arm as if to say, "Don't look at me." At this moment Hajime called out to Rimuru. "Hey, if you were a slime. That means you didn't have X, right?" "Yes. So you guys never." "No." At this moment you cut in. "Chloe, switch places with Shia. I have some things to teach you." They did so and Yu started giving Chloe tips. The person who got hurt the most here was Hajime. Yu was saying things like, "I don't know Rimuru, but Hajime the first time was no big deal, so don't expect much." Or, "Me and Hajime tried that position and it worked out," and Hajime, who couldn't take it anymore, spoke. "Yu. I never thought I would say this, but shut up." Yu realized that she revealed too much and her cheeks turned red. "Sorry." After that Chloe told what happened to her for her to be here. "So it was Mildy who summoned you?" "Yes." When Mildy's name was heard the group got expressions one could only see on a killer. They seemed not to have gotten over how Mildy pissed them off during the dungeon. "You said Hinata disappeared too?" Rimuru asked and Chloe affirmed. "So she did." "What do you mean, Rimuru-san?" "The gods have knowledge of some of my abilities. They probably kidnapped Hinata and took information from her." "I see. I hope she's okay." "She will be. We'll find her." They continued on their journey with Chloe and Sakura hugging Rimuru and Yu hugging Hajime. Hajime was in the driver's seat, so there was no way Shia and Yu could hug him at the same time. So Shia tried to tuck herself in the middle and received a nudge from Yu. The group arrived in the lake town. It was afternoon and they were going to stay here until tomorrow. Tomorrow they would go and get the lost adventurer. Chloe asked Sakura to go for a walk as she wanted to be alone with Rimuru. They rented rooms at an inn until tomorrow morning. "See you later." Hajime and his group went to check out the town. Chloe was in her room and Rimuru went over. He opened the door and Chloe was lying covered. "Rimuru-san. Hi. Is everything okay?" he asked as she was lying down in the afternoon, which was unusual. "Everything is fine. Don't you want to lie down for a while too?" "Ha. That's fine. I'm very happy to be reunited with you. I want to lie cuddled up to you all afternoon." He said this and lay down. He covered himself and Chloe spoke up. "Rimuru-san, I was thinking about something else." "Huh?" Rimuru didn't understand Chloe's words. "I don't want to wait anymore." She said this and lifted the blanket. There was Chloe, totally naked. And those for 2 hours the two lovers did what only two lovers would do. Rimuru was hugging Chloe from behind and Chloe was panting. "Ha ha, Rimuru-san, I can't move. It's okay. Get some rest." He gave her a kiss and covered her gently. Rimuru was still hugging her and Chloe was happy about that. Did you like it?" Rimuru was pretty sure he did, but he asked to confirm. Chloe smiled and said, "Very much. Especially since it's with Rimuru-san, who I love." "I love you too. I think I'm going to get something to eat. Do you want to come along?" "No. I'm going to rest for a while and then I'll meet you." "Okay." Rimuru got up, put on his clothes and used magic to clean the blood marks on the sheet. He took a shower and went to eat. In the restaurant of the inn where the rest of the group was. "Sakura, Yu-san, Hajime-kun, Shia-san. How are you guys doing?" The group saw him coming and waved. "Are you going to eat?" Sakura asked. "I guess so, but not here. I wanted to go somewhere that had roast beef. Do you want to come along, Sakura?" Now that Sakura was his fiancée, he no longer used Chan to refer to her, and that made her very happy. She accepted the invitation and hugged his arm. "Ah." Chloe said she wants to get some rest. "I don't know if she's going to sleep or not, but if she comes down, could you guys let her know where we went?" "Sure." Yu agreed and Rimuru and Sakura went to eat. After they left, Shia raised a question. If Chloe-san is resting, what were they doing these last 2 hours? It was a question without any malice from the innocent and sweet Shia, but Hajime and Yu realized what they were doing. As Hajime thought, 2 hours? He's a cheater even at that. Yu spoke. "And I thought she needed tips. Shia, you will sleep in another room tonight." "Huh? Why?" "Hajime and I need to train." Hajime sounded cold at those words. "We rented 2 rooms only." Hajime tried to come up with an excuse to avoid training. We can't fall behind. Since when did it become a competition? Fufu. Yu licked her lips. And Hajime went to rent another room. Shia, who finally realized what Rimuru and Chloe were doing, turned totally red. 2.